So, Black White Knights. This is one of those decks that's going to get an easy upgrade when we hit the next set, but I think there's a good chance there's something here even without it. So we've got both Midnight Reaper and History of Benalia, which are both just like incredibly powerful cards, I think. Not only is History of Benalia like powerful on its own, but anytime you can curve Knights on 1 or 2 or 1 and 2 with a complete nut draw into History of Benalia, it's going to be incredibly powerful, right? Because just like even History of Benalia on turn 5, just letting you like attack for 8 is good. Like when it's pumping up other things on top of that, it's just got to be incredible. Valiant Knight and some other nifty knight creatures here at the top end. So let's hop into a queue and play some games. One thing I am a little skeptical of looking at the deck list here is there's 4 copies of Deadweight, which seems potentially excessive, but the deck also has the Conclave at the top end to exile larger things, so maybe Deadweight is fine just for stopping early aggression. I'd say it's not amazing, but it's definitely fine. We get to pretend we're mono white aggro for half a second. Or white red aggro or whatnot. And that's not the 2 or 3 drop I wanted for Christmas. Yeah, I agree, Marty. Some cast downs, some more Deadweight. So I have to imagine Deadweight's like really good in the matches against like mono blue, like the cheap creature decks. Deadweight's probably aces, right? Yep, could be Drakes, could be some kind of control deck. Celeris, thank you very much for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Good morning. He's dead, Jim. Right on time, Knight of Malice. Just a little late there. Ideally, we would have played that last turn so we could curve into that. We wanted to play the 2-drop there, or the 4-drop there, because obviously we just wanted to be as resource efficient as possible. Oh, this is funny symmetry. These power each other up. I didn't realize, I don't know why I assumed that this was only for opponent's cards. The fact that it's other players' cards is quite fantastic for us. Mad Mac 8, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Smush, smush. Opponent having a real medium time here so far. These Conclave Jabriles are probably going to be very good if they get anything going here. They're already through 2 Lava Coils. Sometimes there's shocks in these decks, but sometimes they don't have a ton of interaction past Lava Coil. There's a lot of variation even in the good decks in this format. Morden Raiden. I'm doing swell. Ooh, that's a good one. That's probably going to lock the game up here. But both these connect. There's no way they're recovering. If they had a shock, they probably would have shocked on their turn. Nah, I guess they might have wanted to discard the Phoenix. They could have a shock here. Yep. And this is... So, because they're able to kill our thing, this ended up only hitting for 2, so we no longer had there's no longer a black permanent in play. Do you have 2 1-mana spells to bring some birds back here? Saw on the hunt for those Cliff Bars. They were good. I'm gonna have to pick up some more next time we go to store. Chrissy just bought a couple of them because we weren't sure if they were gonna be good or not. I want to go ahead and play this pre-combat because it makes my Knight of Grace bigger. Rar. Sure. And like, they're down to 6 here, and next turn I'm attacking for 13 on the back of History of Benalia. Oh, I had two different ones. I had a blueberry one and a strawberry banana one. I think I like the blueberry one better. Even if they did something silly like putting 3 birds into play here, I have Tribunal plus dead weight and just like it to run them down. Knightly Knight opponent. Knightly Knight. Got it. Got it. It took me a second there, Cam Bam. So they have to kill 2 of my things here. I guess they could kill 1 of my things plus bring back birds as blockers, but Conclave Tribunal plus dead weight means that's not going to be good enough for them. So they need to have another shock here. I guess they could have some of these decks play Dive Down. Yeah, most of the protein bar type things are pretty expensive. This deck tops out at 4. Things like the Valiant Knight and Pride of Fearmet here. So this is Easy Ixalan's binding in. I'm gonna trim some of these other top end pieces here, I think. Probably want Moment of Graving, do I? Moment of Triumph. This is sweet because it saves from shock. I guess this is probably fine. Morning, Mr. Missouri. I don't think I want Moment. Maybe I want Moment on the draw. Just like help stay alive a little bit. I could see that. Now, I've got a lot of interaction in my deck already. I don't want to dilute too much. Rabner, thanks for the 18 months. I appreciate the 1.5 years. Welcome back. Worst Neighbor NA, thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the Bezo bucks, folks. Everyone's having a good Tuesday. Happy Standard and Video Games Day. The slaughter yesterday by the mods was incredible. It was. We had some good ones. So we'll be on the draw this game. Yeah, it's pretty good. Needs some more lands, but it's got good tools in it, right? Perfect. This archetype, vampires, dinosaurs, merfolk. I'm really excited for all of these tribes to get a shock land to the next set. Like, even just forgetting all the sweet spells we're gonna get from those colors, like just being able to round out just like better mana for these archetypes is gonna be sweet. Yeah, I think Merfolk's gonna be really sweet. I think the Merfolk deck now is pretty reasonable. Fantabulous. Smush. They have a Lava Coil. Midnight Reaper won't draw a card, unfortunately, but that's probably fine. There's 2 birds in there. I need to race pretty quickly here. Valiant Knight next turn means I attack for 8 and put them to 10. So Valiant Knight, assuming they just try to linear us here and don't interact with our board, we got them on a 2-turn clock. Huh. Man, could you imagine if these were like cast downs? I guess it'd be about the same here. The white enchantment removal with Knight of Malice is like quite good. Or Midnight Reaper. Good night, my sweet prince. You were too pure for this world. Wow, no Phoenix is coming back there is excellent for us. They boarding counterspells against me? Fiery Cannonade. Okay, sure. Yeah, that card's pretty good against us. It's a good one to keep in mind that they have access to. What's going on, Ruben? Yeah, so aside from the pile of deadweights, I like what this deck has going on a lot. Do they have a dive down here? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, whatever the split, they've really just like, in this first set, they knocked the split cards out of the park, so I'm excited to see like what split cards we get for the other 5 guilds. Yeah, like, I spent 2 cards to kill their card that drew a card, just like doesn't feel particularly good. Let's give it self double strike too. Of course it does, that's sweet. Yeah, there's good synergies here for sure. Is that a third bird? That is a third bird. Third bird. Third bird, third bird. They have a shock here too. That'd be unfortunate. Yep, basically. You'll never take me alive. So this is 9 power coming into play here. A lot of birds in your top 20 cards. Yeah, I agree, Raiden Project. Alright, we could just die next turn, right? Like if they have a shock. Possibly, the question we would have to ask ourselves about Ajani is like, which of our existing 4-drops would the 4-mana Ajani be better than? Because I don't think we can afford to put more 4-mana spells in our deck. I think we're kind of at the tippy top for what is acceptable for that. I think there's probably a good chance we're dead here. They could have a 4th Phoenix here too with the Radical Idea. So Shock, Lightning Strike, 4th Phoenix all kill us. Lava Coil leaves us in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, probably some amount of cast down. Blink of an eye, also bad for us. Alright, that's likely a wrap. Oh, actually, you know what? Seal Away. Seal Away is probably a good choice, too. I might split them, Cast Downs and Seal Away. We're on the 0 outer here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for after this. I'm gonna split these with cast downs and seal aways. Probably like a second cast down and like 3 seals. I think seal away is pretty good in this format. It's decent against the Phoenix deck and a lot of other random aggressive things. It's like really good against the Phoenix deck, actually, not even just decent, just like really good. Morning, Toby. That's a lot of guild gates. That feels real bad. Like, could you imagine if this was Godless Shrine? Just like Dauntless on 1, the rest of these lands on 10. I think this is a keep, but I'm not happy about it, but I think this is a keep. I don't think we need Settle. I think Seal Away would have been fine. I think Seal Away is fine. Seal Away is the upside of making your Black Knight get extra power, which is sweet. That's a good draw. So we're playing a turn behind, but that's still fine. Morning, Oratog. Hope you're having a good one. See if they have just a radical idea here. Yep. Did I take that Blue-Black Pirates deck to a paper tournament? I've not. The SCG Invitational is in a week and a half. So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. I don't play much Paper Magic anymore. It's expensive and annoying. Ooh, are they missing a third land? That would be good for us. They could also just have like a second bird they want to discard. Nope, not that. All right. All right, they need a Doomblade real bad here. Piece of removal. If we get the land, the Valiant Knight's gonna... Yep, yeah, I actually have a physical copy of Elves. Nah, I'm playing Pirates. Rude. I guess that means they're less likely to be able to kill this Valiant Knight. Oh, that's not true. They have plenty of things in here with Beacon Bolt. Ding, ding, ding. Under pressure. See if they have a shock here. They have a lot of shocks in their deck, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Knight of Malice die here in response. Yeah, they're probably going to be a little bit too far behind. Honestly, it's possible, too, that I just want an additional threat in this deck, too. Like, the amount of removal spells that I have, especially post-board with the Excellence Binding, might just be too many. I might just want, like, 10 2-drops, or, like, find another 1-drop that I could play a couple copies of. You want some feedback on the deck? You can watch so many videos on my website. Like, me going to a paper tournament isn't going to change my feedback on the deck. Like, we've played it a bunch. Click standard decks at the top and click Blue-Black Pirates. There's like 4 or 5 videos of us playing it at this point. Good bit of stuff up there. Yeah, just like being this aggressive deck and just like having all these cards in my hand that I like wish were ways to kill my opponents that are just like this. Feels a little bad. I think the deadweight was not only a response probably to mono white doing well, but it was likely to try and have some synergy with the white knight as well, because the white knight counts your permanents as black permanents to get an extra power, but I think it's just too cute. I'm gonna trim these after this match. They killed him with the trigger. For the record, I think Rune Raider is fine. It's just not good if you're expecting to play against aggressive decks. It's really good against both control and mid-range. Like, it's good against green, black, and Jeskai. Adanto isn't a knight, but not everything has to be a knight. Like, being a slave to your theme is one of the biggest mistakes people make when playing decks like this. It's okay to just play good cards. So like, you don't have to be a slave to your theme and have everything be knights just because you're playing a knight deck. You just like play cards that are good in the format and still like play other cards that have synergy with each other. So Adanto Vanguard, probably a good suggestion, I think. Our deck's pretty weak to things like Moment of Clarion or Deafening Clarion and what's it called? Deafening Clarion and Fiery Cannonade, so like having a card that's insulated against those seems appealing. I don't know what Hunted Witness is. I'm gonna play this to start. This makes both of my creatures in play lethal. That's unfortunate. I guess I draw 2 cards. Again, see comment about Adanto here. I haven't played enough mono white to have an educated or informed opinion on those differences. So I would tell you to defer to someone who has experience with it. An okay spot here. We've got a mix of removal and that's a pretty good one. Alright, attack for lethal. Yeah, it's possible, Apostle Man. I'm gonna take a look at... I always like to play, like, at least... Unless something's super glaring, I like to play a game with. Like to play at least one match with the deck most times. Wow, that's brutal for us. Holy crap. Holy gosh, that... Well, that was not pretty. They can-tripped and then can-tripped again. Told to sit down and shut up. Alright, hopefully we're gonna teach our opponent a history lesson here. And that'll put him away. They don't have another cannonade, we should be in a good spot. I suppose they could have, what's the mind control card? Entrancing Melody, and Fiery Cannonade are the cards we're looking to dodge. That card doesn't accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish, though, Marling. It doesn't solve the issue of... How many birds are in here? 2? That's not that many. Hopefully we draw a land next turn so I can go History of Benalia plus Conclave Tribunal to, like, take a bird out. I suppose if I don't draw the land, I can go Knight of Grace into Conclave, take a bird out. That feels bad. I get 2 birds back here. So I could do this and then exile a bird. Seems fine. Have I played the big red deck with Treasure Map and Siege Gang? I have not. This is summoning sick, chat. This is summoning sick. It just came into play. It just came into play off of History of Benalia. Calm down. Calm yourselves. Erodic, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a good morning. Just gotta get this one off the table. Their bird's coming back next turn. They waited till our turn because they wanted to die to Moment of whatever it is. I actually kind of like that card. It's cute. Don't maximize me, bro. Don't do it. Damn it. Yay, we didn't die. Alright, well, let's continue being the control deck here for a hot second. Gobble, gobble. If we draw a land next turn, we can go History of Benalia into Conclave Tribunal, which will be pretty reasonable. They can almost certainly flip the Phoenix back into play this turn. They've got Dub's Radical Idea in the bin, plus like a spell somewhere in certain. Need more Lightning Bolt in our black-white deck. Concur. Are we incredibly lucky and they just have like 5 lands in their hand? That would be so good. Rats. Alright, did they find a second bird? They found a second bird, we're probably dead here. Yep. Feels bad, man. Opponent was really good at finding all their birds quickly in these games. I guess this game's been going on for a while. They're what, like 36 cards into their decks? It's likely-ish to find 3. Yeah, close game. I think a Dancho would be pretty good here. Having a way to insulate against these sweeper effects would be good. It doesn't have night synergies, but it's just like a good playable Magic the Gathering card. And one of the things, like I said, you want to do when you're building a deck like this, it's good to build around powerful synergies, but at the same time, you don't really want to be a slave to your theme to the point where you're just like playing cards that aren't good in your deck or like skipping cards that are good. Come sail away, do 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 do. All right, so what does that do? That puts me to 64 cards. Yes, yeah, basically, if you're good at the game and your deck is good, your deck gets nerfed, Talrad. It's really rancid for competitive play. Yeah, I think these 4 drops at the top are probably just too cute. What happened to all my mythic wild cards? People kept sending in decks with them. So the rare wild card bottleneck is only a thing that exists if you don't have all the rare lands. Once you have all the rare lands, you run out of mythic wild cards much faster than rares. I think this is fine. There are a lot of 2s, but like the 2s are like the good cards. I think this seems reasonable. I cut some of the extra 4s that were just like cute 1-ofs. I think trimming the extra Conclave Tribunal for more efficient removal makes sense. We've also upped our total threat count here, so we've got 24 creatures along with 4 History of Benalia, so it's like 28 threats, which is about what you expect to have in an aggro deck. And then we've got 8 quality pieces of removal here. I think I'm happy with that. Seems reasonable. Yeah, let's give this a try. Can we cut a land, remove some high drops? I don't think so. How many lands are there? It was only like 24. 24. Is that too many? Is 24 too many? No, I think I'm happy with the amount of lands we have in our deck. If anything, so here's call this the Hoagland rule of thumb while deck building. Let's do it. The Hoagland rule of thumb. If you think you might want to cut a land, instead add a utility land. That's what I like to do, because this way, especially when you're testing a deck, you draw the utility land and know this is the land that you would have cut, and you can still play Magic with it if you need the land, and if you don't need the land, you can turn it into something else, right? So that applies to modern, it applies to standard. Just if you think you kind of want to cut a land, add a utility land first and see how the utility land feels. Is like always my go-to. It's a $10 game to play with my girlfriend. People spending $2,000 for decks on eBay trying to be competitive are the textbook definitions of idiots. I mean, kinda. Like, is everybody that buys Magic cards as singles an idiot then, Larry? Like, it's what is it? I think Patrick Sullivan put it best. It's ridiculous that this piece of cardboard costs $600. That's just obscene. It should only cost about $400. That price sounds right. $600 is too much. Just like, who gets to define like what's an okay and terrible price for things to cost, right? Like what something is worth is different to the individual. What is apparently my opponent had something come up. Morning, Anner. Allow me to let you defend yourself. Well, apparently they're going to have some amount of organized play. Yep. I wish this was a, gosh, if this was a plains, this curve would just be the stones. This curve's still going to be pretty good, but if this had been a plains, it would be insane. Who's ready for a history lesson? Still playing Warhammer? Yeah, Warhammer's my mobile game. And play it mostly at the gym. It's just kind of awkward to stream. It's just kind of awkward to stream with the mobile client from the PC because it plays vertically, or displays itself vertically. So do I should just history this turn, right? I could go Knight Dauntless. Screw it, let's do these. This history is gonna pop and destroy them next turn. Yeah, I think all roads lead to Rome. Itty bitty bugle boy, do 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 do. With Magic, there are multiple opportunities to get return on I, or return on investment. Keyforge is competitive play at PAX. I mean, even, wait, what? That you're dead on board, right? Almost not quite dead on board, but close, pretty close. You know what they say, opponent. Those who haven't learned from their history are doomed to repeat it. Only 17, yep. Okay, all right. We have ourselves a stalemate. Yeah, I wish there was a MTGO-like option where it's just like, please pass everything, I have no responses. That and the ability to auto-yield to triggers like this would be nice in Arena. And then next turn, my history is gonna pop, and I'm gonna get to play Midnight Reaper. So even anything they eat or trade with is gonna be profitable for me. You shift, enter, hard pass. You knew that was coming, opponent. What changed? Is Dauntless Bodyguard is probably not good here. They have a lot of things that outclass this pretty quickly. I'm gonna bring in Moment of Craving, especially on the draw. Shalai and a couple Excellence Bindings. That seems fine. This guy's too good. They say they reverse stack the triggers. They know what's up. Double history, chat. We figured out the mono white mirror breaker. Ooh, that's actually really scary because if they have a Johnny Pride Mate here on 2, it's gonna grow out of control before I have a chance to interact with it. Have we tried Vampires and Standard yet? I've not. Alright, so this is giving them a chance to have their Pride Mate on 2 here, but I've got a lot of removal that I could draw later to remove it. They have nothing. They have a big fat nothing, eh? Not a seal away, huh? What did they keep? Sure. Oh, it has hexproof from white. You're totally right. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Ah, this is my lord. My lord is amazing. Do 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 do. On a smash. So you're almost dead? You're only mostly dead. How many times do I have to teach you this history lesson, old man? Am I a fan of historic? Standard is a format. No, I'm only a fan of formats that I can play. Look at all the hit points they've gained, chat. I think they should probably attack me here. I think they should be happy trading Bugler for one of my things. We're gonna sit here and teach you history lessons until they stick, opponent. Sarah Q, thank you for the 13-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. They have another Conclave Tribunal here. They have an Excellence Binding. Okay. All right. Okay, we have a game, as they say. Hey, I'm just gonna. Math is for blockers. My things that aren't my job. Doing the math on this attack. It's worth noting that Midnight Reaper isn't particularly synergist with History of Benalia, but they're like two individually powerful cards, so it's probably fine. I'm gonna go ahead and Moment of Craving one of these to keep my Night Token around, so they're gonna lose 2 of these. Oh, are they dead? No, they're going to 1 here. So they're going to 1. I'm gonna draw a card. These will trade. This will die. Someone asked, how competitive is this deck? I have no idea. This is our first time playing this deck. If you're new to the stream, basically most of what we do here is we play viewer submitted deck lists, and I give feedback on them as we play and adjust and tune and stuff like that. So we're 1-1. We beat that mono white brew. We lost a close one to Drake's, but I think if we hadn't had a bunch of dead weights in our deck for that first game, we probably would have been okay there. Not protecting Reaper, but a 2/2 token. So the 2/2 token wasn't going to trade with their 2/3, whereas the Reaper was trading. So I wanted to use the Moment of Craving in order to remove my opponent, most of my opponent's creatures from play. It's pretty good. Needs another land in it, but pretty reasonable other than that. Yeah, that's true too. The token draws a card, whereas the Reaper does. The Reaper draws a card, whereas the token does not. And it's pretty good. Even if we miss a land, we get to go 2 into 2. Opponent's mulligan to 5. I'm gonna play Knight of Malice out here. And the reason why it's correct to lead on Knight of Malice here is this way if I draw a white land next turn, I can play History of Benalia and power up my Knight. Perfect. We're just giving out all the history lessons today, chat. Just mono history lessons today. I have no reason to block this. Sure. Do this, do this. Diddle diddle. This card's really good. Just like fantastically so. Are we done here? Is there any reason to not include Radiant Destiny in this deck? What problem do you think this deck has that playing Radiant Destiny solves? Why would I want to play Radiant Destiny? Instead of me telling you why your idea is bad, maybe you should try and tell me why your idea is good, then we can talk about it. Have a little back and forth, some interaction. I'm just gonna smash here and then play two creatures post combat. So that's the question you want to ask yourself about deck building in general when you're looking at things. You want to ask yourself, what problem does my deck have and how am I solving it by adding this card? And what card am I removing from my deck to add that card? And what potential problems could I be creating by cutting the card that I'm cutting? That's not true. Our creatures have +1/+1 from the Night Lord that costs 4. Sure, but you told me the text on the card, and then you concluded by telling me that this card does something that my cards already do. So again, I ask you the same question, like, if you want to make this suggestion, what problem do we have that it's solving that our deck already doesn't solve? I know what the text box on the card is. When I ask what it does, I don't mean read me the text box. I mean, tell me in the context of the deck that we're playing what issue we have that's being fixed by adding that card. And again, that's a problem-solving based way to approach deck building, which is generally the best way to approach deck building in my experience. So I missed a point of damage there by not playing this pre-combat. I should have done that. So if I would have played this pre-combat, this would have hit for 3, and they'd be at 8 right now. And again, the other important thing to remember past being problem focused and solving issues that a deck has is that Magic deck should be 60 cards, generally speaking, and changing cards is 1 for 1. So if you want to add a card, you also need to look at, well, what card are we playing that this card is worse than, and why is it worse than that? Yeah, with Godless Shrine being another duel, it's possible that you could play Battleless Marshal in this deck. Yeah, so far my comments on the deck are, it's really good when you draw History of Benalia, which is to be like expected, right? Like, History of Benalia is a card that's like good on its own, and like History of Benalia is a card that's good on its own, and you know, you mix it in with other cards that are reasonable. Unclaimed Territory, so we can play the Night Anthem, is a really interesting idea. So like that would be a card I think I would play before Radiant Destiny, because it's another card that's a threat. So like, if we cut like 4 swamps for 4 unclaimed territories and played the Beneficial Marshal, that might not be unreasonable. Like, that gives us 22 white sources and still leaves us with 10 black sources for cast down. Does it seem rough? Like, you're talking about non-creature spells, but like, Swamp and Unclaimed Territory are the same land for History of Benalia. You know? Swamp and Unclaimed Territory are the same land for Conclave Tribunal, etc. Yeah, I should probably cut Seal away and Conclave Tribunal in a matchup like this. Maybe I have to leave a couple of... Mortal Sun is good here, actually. Let's try this. Does that jam us on 3 drops? Potentially. Potentially. Tecatli Honor Guard on 2. Probably gonna be pretty good here. So the important thing to remember about Duress too is that Duress isn't a card that has to be played on 1. I mean, 322 is plenty. Yeah, there's a good chance if you wanted to jam Marshal into this deck, you would need to... If you wanted to jam Marshal into this deck, you would need to trim, like, some of the Midnight Reapers. Because, like, obviously you're not cutting History of Benalia. That card is just bananas. But Midnight Reaper is probably a card you could go down on. And then again, like, it both leads to the question, like, do you actually want more copies of those cards? Yes, yeah, exactly, Jat. Like, this isn't Modern where you need to play your Thoughtseize and your Inquisition on turn 1 or you're gonna die. Like, Duress is often better later in the game because you want to, like, give them a chance to, like, draw their Tefreeze or their big spells that you want to take away. And throwing them away. I've definitely created a lot of decks that way. A lot of decks in car rides, like scribbling on paper and throwing them away. Any hot takes on the artist boycott of the Channel Fireball Grand Prix? No, not really. It's good to see the community supporting them. Yeah, the history of Benalia draws in this deck are your unbeatable run them over draws. The question in my mind that stands out with this deck is, what do your draws that don't have history look like, and are they playable? Because if your draws without history are playable, the deck's really good. When you do have history, it's going to be great. Chances are sitting on Contempt waiting for another black source high. So they're probably going to start turning their creatures into Boros Charms here soon, I have to imagine. Yeah, it has a your thing doesn't work here animation. Play Reaper to play around Finality. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, I'm all in now, sorry. They're gonna go land Finality and just destroy me here. That's totally what this is. This is a split card. Yeah, I totally should have played Reaper. I was so focused on being resource efficient, but I just didn't even think about Finality. Yeah, the fact that they blocked with the 2-1 rather than the elf, that's a good read. Yeah, like, Finality doesn't put us in an unwinnable spot, but like, okay, or it could just be Carnage Tyrant. I'm gonna attack with all of these. I don't think I'm saving the one they're gonna block. If they block multiple, I might save one, but I'm definitely not saving two. I want one to die here so I can try and draw an untapped land to play another Knight of Malice so I can have 6 first strike to block this Carnage Tyrant. They could still have Finality in hand here. If they have Carnage Tyrant and Finality, playing Carnage Tyrant first makes a lot of sense. Yep, yeah, it says it in the stream title, Elgarth. I think my current plan is to unslow the queue after STGCon. Don't I attack with all of these? I'm gonna attack with Midnight Reaper 2 here because I can sacrifice Dauntless Bodyguard to protect this, and then I'll draw a card from Dauntless Bodyguard. No, I don't want to full smash it, I don't think. No, I don't think we're at a point where I want to throw my stuff away yet. Yeah, Dauntless Bodyguard Midnight Reaper is just like good, clean Levin. I'm gonna save one of these. I'm gonna put this into play because it puts lethal on the board next turn. So If they we're dead to a finality because of Midnight Reaper, but I think I definitely just want to put lethal into play here. Really? Okay. They must have an explore creature in their hand, right? There's Wild Growth Walker. Chupacabra. Yep. Who we killing? It's a pretty good one, chat. It's a pretty good one. Yeah, eat this, Chupacabra. Gobble, gobble. I think we'll win with a Valiant Knight activation, so sure. Worth noting that Adantos do not get double strike from Valiant Knight. Do I wait one more turn? Do I play this other Valiant Knight and wait one more turn? So if I attack with these, they're just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna wait one more turn here, I think. I'm like sweating bullets on this finality and a ritual of so that they have that, but I think I'm supposed to wait one more turn here. Sure. Next turn's gonna be Mathis for blockers. Smash you.
You can't stop nature.
That's pretty good. Just gonna let them go up to 11 here. Oh, can they not do that? Yeah, they might not be able to do that. This is an instant, right? Yeah. Figure it out. They have to chump block everything, right? Because every one of these is lethal. Well, they have to trade block. This gets to trade, and they go to 2. So I guess finality gets them out of it here, right? They rip finality. No, they don't have the land. So this has to find a land and they have to draw finality. Well, no, they have to block every one of my knights here. These blocks aren't good. They have to block every knight. Every knight is lethal on its own with double strike off of the Valiant Knight activation. So these blocks kill them. These blocks kill them without activating. Alright, opponent. I think the opponent was pretty dead regardless, but they definitely played that poorly. Half a year protecting and serving the realm. Grimwatch, thank you for the 6 months. Welcome back. We're shipping those Bezo bucks this way this month. How are we doing, folks? Good morning. Welcome. We're hanging out playing some Black White Knights to start the day off. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're a new viewer, thanks for dropping in. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Glad I didn't scare you away. I stream Magic, specifically constructed Magic, full-time here on this channel. I'm here playing Standard on Magic Arena and Modern on Magic Online 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you're someone that finds yourself enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full-time. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their very wonderful support. Past subscribing. You can also support myself by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep. Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 5 months now, and we really love it. I don't think we'd ever go back to traditional pillow top mattress. You can save $160 or more on your new mattress with them by checking out links bit.ly/HugoBedUS and bit.ly/HugoBedCA. Are you someone that thinks you always find the best possible line while you're playing Magic the Gathering? Why don't you put your skills to the test? Head on over to PossibilityStorm.com and find over 80 Magic the Gathering puzzles. They put up new ones there every single week of varying difficulty. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, you might have heard my shuffling deck going there. My shuffling deck is protected by none other than my BCW Elite Guard sleeves. Using code Jeff10 at BCWSupplies.com, you can save 10% on your orders of sleeves, deck box, and all sorts of other great stuff there with them. We got a couple more matches here with Light still, so let's head back on in. Everyone's having a good Tuesday morning wherever you're at in the world. Pretty awesome. We got almost 900 people here already for some Standard this morning. Standard and Arena are both fantastical. Will the sub changes in Jan be retroactive? Yes, pretty sure. Pretty sure. What does democracy mean on the deck queue? It means how much people have voted for decks to be played. So the more votes decks get, the sooner they get played. So the whole deck queue system is explained here on my website. The stream basically runs exactly like the United States of America. Everybody gets a vote, and then at the end of the day, whoever spent the most money chooses what gets played. Yeah, Goalie, if you want to share a link for whatever it is that you mentioned in the private message, that's fine. Well, I had spells, and now I no longer have spells. They know about this Thief of Sanity, or this Seal Away, sorry. Reading their card. Ooh. Is it not better to play the Vanguard first to put more pressure on them, or do you feel Knight of Malice is the better card? So, the opponent's playing a black deck, which likely means they have access to cards like Moment of Craving, and I'd much rather my Knight of Malice get eaten by a Moment of Craving than my Adanto Vanguard, because my Adanto Vanguard can withstand things like Ritual of Soot. So, like, obviously, I get punished if my opponent has Thought Erasure there, but I think they're more likely to have a removal spell than to have Thought Erasure. Yeah, lands are colorless. Alrighty, so Profane Profession actually seems really sweet in this matchup. Seal Away is probably a little bit clunky on average. Cast Down seems fine. Conclave Tribunal seems fine. Argos Bloodfast seems good. I am not a fan of boarding in Duress against discard-based control decks. I don't mind boarding in Duress, however, against counterspell-based control decks. Drawing lands like a professional. What's going on, Squishy? Thanks for the 28 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. This hand is real good. Real decks have curves, chat. Want to draw like untapped lands for like the next 2 turns? Just go the old 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. What's going on, Ghost Stalker? It is, in fact, video game day. Arguably my favorite day in Homelandia. Yes, yeah, Reaper's a knight. It's on a horse. Why would it be a knight, Chad? It's on a horse. Tilt. I liked my lord. My lord was so beautiful. Womp womp womp. I mean, the good news is if we get Ritual, so do we get to draw 2 cards, I guess. This would have been a great follow-up too, because it wouldn't die to Ritual Asset. It's been casted down and out. Turns out drawing spells is good. Things aren't looking good for our hero, chat. I guess they're missing lands, but Screw tends to beat Flood in traditional Magic logic. It's a good one. It's a really good one. Definitely one of our better draws. Hey everyone, Facebook is donation matching for charities today. If you're a dog lover and fortunate enough to have a few extra bucks, please consider donating to Carolina Adoptables. I do a lot with the rescue and they do a ton of great work. If you have questions, feel free to ask Goalie about it. Thanks for the support, Goalie. I don't think this is Flood, this is a curve. Well, the Conclave being looking pretty good here. That's actually a great draw too, because like one of my opponent's best ways to get back into this game is through a Ritual of Set. Yeah, no problem. You've done plenty here. I like helping out, especially in ways that like that doesn't cost me anything. So we get rid of that there. We hit for 4. Unfortunately, tokens don't apply to Midnight Reaper. So if they do Ritual of Set me here, I'm only gonna draw 2 cards, but that's still better than nothing. That's true, Rich. That's true. My friend. Alright, well. Flood beat Screw a little bit. I didn't get the stuff for the pirate costume together. I just didn't. Hopefully for tomorrow, I need to. My article ended up taking most of my night last night. Pretty happy with how I sideboarded, I think. Nah, I'm not a fan of discard spells in these style of matchups. I'd much rather have the discard spells for like the Jeskai style decks. I think especially when they're on things like Thief of Sanity, I'd rather prioritize leaving removal in my deck. So that way they just like don't get to run away with the game with a card like that. This card seems very good. Would Shalai be good to sideboard because discard spells? Not really. By the time Shalai comes down, they've already cast their discard spells. The Shalai is in my sideboard for Settle the Wreckage, I would imagine. They brought in Duress against me. Right. Get paid off, I guess. Alright, so they didn't have end step spot removal, so we're gonna have at least 1 creature next turn here with a golden. Ugh. Well, that was a beating. I was thinking of Ritualist Set there. That one. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this and get it out of my hand. This will make it pretty hard for them to kill us. If we can hit 5 lands. There's no surgical in this format with your plague spells. Land. Alright, I guess we're gonna see if we can outgrind them. We've drawn this will actually be a good game to test this. Like, if this Argos Bloodfast, this Profane Procession can't pull us through this game kicking and screaming, they're probably not worth playing. Like, is the having a grindy element worth having, or am I just supposed to try and get under decks like this? How hard would it beat it right? How hard would it be to write an MTG AI that beats humans? I mean, if you're having it play Valakut Titan in Modern against people playing interactive decks, it'd probably be incredibly easy. If I'd have drawn an untapped land there, I think I would have played Bloodfast so I could start hammering it right away. But because the land came into play tapped, I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. That's why you have to give it the right deck, Larinax. You just give it red-green Valakut Titan, and it'll make all the best plays, because making the best plays is easy with that deck. I think I'm actually bidding the Valiant Knight here because with the Argos Bloodfast in play, I'm kind of resource choked. You'd basically want to give the AI a deck where it's going to get to make the best plays without, where the best plays don't care about what your opponent's doing. Would be the easiest way to code it. Yeah, so I don't like bringing in Duress against control decks that tend to just be full of removal and not counter spells, because Duress tends to be a card that has diminishing returns as the game goes long, and I would prefer if Duress... I prefer to not draw Duress while my opponent's empty-handed, and decks that are full of sweepers and spot removal tend to get empty-handed. Wow! Deal. Deal. Snap it off. Call. Call. They probably don't have a way... If I had to venture a guess, I'll bet they don't have a way to kill us other than creatures. Yeah, Tuesday's all video games on Arena. That's a fantastic draw. They have Sabotage in their deck. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Dispersal doesn't permanently get rid of this, though. I guess they could Dispersal into untap Thought Erasure. I like drawing magic cards. Do-da, do-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Sure, chat, you're not listening to the words that came out of my mouth. I didn't say they don't have ways to interact with this. I said they don't have ways to win the game that aren't creatures. That's what I said. So, Profane Profession locks them out of their win conditions. I'm not saying they can't interact with this. I am, however, saying that they don't have ways to win while this is on the table. 2 days after Christmas and I'll get knighted. Keep up the great work. What's going on, Alkalol? I appreciate the 11 months. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued tier 3 sub there. That's very generous. Yeah, let's try and draw another land here, I think. I don't want to go too low because I don't want Midnight Reaper to be in danger of killing me. Yeah, they can get back a Hexproof Knight, but I can just trade with that inside of combat, so it's like not really a big deal. Maybe I'm supposed to Conclave Tribunal this. I don't know, I almost feel like I don't care. Yeah, Bloodfast has been good, right? Like I talked about that, right? Like I was like, if this is a game that Bloodfast wins for us, Bloodfast is worth playing, and if it's not, then it's not worth playing. Yeah, like even if they get a Doom Whisperer here, like Doom Whisperer lets them scry, but like I think I'm okay with that. I don't really care if they get a knight, chat. No, I don't really care if they get a knight. This was the most likely outcome there. Do I want to transform this yet? Yeah, I think so. Gobble, gobble. So they surveilled something to the top here. So like, what do they have? Like, do they find an answer to this? Sure. They're like, I'm literally gonna replay this and then eat this. They have infinite mana. Yeah, we're playing Forsaken Sanctuary because we like casting our spells, and dual lands help you cast your spells. It's temporary answer to a permanent problem. Agreed. Both this and Bloodfast were just A+ here. Very, very pleased with both of those cards. Hope your day's going well. Captain Trist, thank you for the 2-month resub. Welcome back. The Black Pirates list, I'm currently running 2 Rune Raiders in the sideboard for bringing card advantage against control. Do you think Midnight Reaper could be better since it's guaranteed to replace itself if it does not get countered? That's an interesting question. Yeah, it's... I understand what you're saying. I think Rune Raider's better if for that type of effect. No, this isn't, oh, they thought they might get back their Whisper. Maybe? I'd say this isn't Oblivion Rings. That's definitely not how that works. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Midnight Reaper back here. Because their way back into this game is via a sweeper. So Midnight Reaper is sweeper insurance here on this board. Sure. I feel like, what's the best way to articulate why I prefer Rune Raider? I feel like if Rune Raider isn't drawing you a card when it comes into play, you're probably not winning the game anyways. So, I would like to gain 2 life, please. This is why I held Knight of Grace in my hand. I should not play the Knight to push lethal. They were already dead on board. Their comeback is a sweeper effect. Like if they draw a piece of spot removal, that's fine. So I think playing the Knight there is very silly. They're already dead on board. Yeah, Argles and the enchantment there were both very good. Most of the control decks in this format have creatures that they're trying to win with, so the procession seems interesting. Stand up for a bit. Hey there, Nicholas. Best thing about subscribing is making you just say you have to jund it more. What? What's going on? Thanks for the 3 months. Welcome back. Appreciate the quarter of a year. How do you feel about Argles in the Pirates list? I don't think that deck needs help against control decks. I think that deck already lines up well against the control decks, so I think that's like adding a card that's like working to solve a problem that you don't have. In my experience, the games you lose the control decks generally involve Niv Mizzet. So if I wanted cards, I would rather play cards that could work towards helping against Niv Mizzet, like Thought Erasure is a card that I'm trying. Perfect curve. Look at this. Just this, into History of Benalia next turn. Gosh, if we hit the untapped land on 4, we just get to Valiant Knight them too. Nice green black deck. Vroom vroom. Let's rev the engines here. Branch Walker's fine. Is the pirates list on my website up to date? Yes. I'm testing thought erasure in the sideboard, but I'm not sure if it's good or not yet. What is Godless Shrine have to do with anything there? Forsaken Sanctuary is fine. It was the same as Godless Shrine. Yeah, the technology integrations for Arena are just A+. How much better does the tech get with Godless Shrine? I don't know, better? I don't know, that's not really a measurable metric. So, I think I just play Valiant Knight this turn and then cast down the following turn. Although now I can do this, and now I'm going to do this. Since I drew a 2-mana Knight, I'm going to play this plus cast down this, and then smack them for 4. And then next turn, they'll get the power up, plus play Valiant Knight. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, formats change when you release new sets into them. So... you activated Valiant Knight. Yes, actually, the last time we played against Green Black, we ended up winning the game on an activate Valiant Knight turn. They are not just dead, but they're pretty close here. What if they run both? I generally speaking, I prefer only if they're dedicated counter spells. Otherwise, you end up in too many situations where they don't have cards in hand in my experience. All right, so they're going to 1, and their sweeper costs 6, so seems good for us. We're going to 2, sorry. Thinking about building green-black deck and paper, then I realized I don't have wild cards to make the deck IRL. Yeah, paper you have to deal with the secondary market. Why, Pumpkins? Thank you for the 4-month 3-sub. Welcome back. Are we done here? What are we doing? Stealing game 1 and then getting... anytime you steal game 1 and then get to board and 4 Tocatli honor guards, it just, like, doesn't even seem fair. It's just like, well... Good luck, nice knowing ya. I wonder if I want a 3rd cast down on the board. I kind of feel like I might. Just so, like... because I don't want enchantment removal against green-black, but I wouldn't mind having, like, 1 more piece of spot removal, I think. That says it's great, it's expensive. It's not expensive to play on Magic Arena. It's the same price as everything else. Yep, yeah, Sultai Friends will be up second today. This actually be our last match. We're playing the Black White Knights deck. We've been playing for almost an hour and a half now. And we'll have some Sultai Friends, and then Naya Angels, and this Blue-Red Wizards deck that I'm not sure how I feel about. And then, if time permits, we're going to wrap up with some Pirates. I'm going to be sneaking Pirates in at the end of every standard stream between now and the Invitational, I think. Even if it's just a match or 2. That seems like not, you know, it doesn't have our Tocatli honor guard in it, but it's pretty good other than that, right? I get to go Dauntless into cast down your thing into, well, I guess they're pretty inclined to take history depending on what their hand looks like. If they have a good Wild Growth Walker hand, they'll take the cast down. If they do not have a good Wild Growth Walker hand, got it. So the Beneficial Marshal is not only a consideration on the mana cost, but it's also a consideration on what our curve looks like, right? So we already have 8 really good 3-drops in our deck between History of Benalia and Midnight Reaper, and like adding another 3-drop doesn't seem particularly appealing. Are you taking notes when testing? Not really. This isn't testing. This is just like generic practice. Like, I don't do formal testing for tournaments anymore. I just don't. Magic's got a lot of variance in it. Even when you spend a lot of time practicing, there's still a good chance you're just going to show up and lose. If you watch the latest Pirates video, you'll be able to click into the video description and see where I added the cast downs in the sideboard. So, yeah. And they knew that was coming, right? So, like, I would like to protect that one. I would like to attack with my first striker. I'm not attacking with my 2/1s yet because next turn I'll be able to put Midnight Reaper into play if I miss a land drop. And then my 2/1s will trade with this and draw a card. Yeah, the first strike on the two drop knights has just been very, very good. Just super relevant. All right, yep. They could have a cast down here. If they have a cast down, they can kill this before these trade in combat, but I think that's fine. Definitely just about to smash. Get in there. I really like this style of deck that the Knights deck is. It's one of my preferred playstyle for decks, and by that I mean this deck has a lot of... This deck is able to pressure the opponent when they're stumbling, but it also has a lot of quality removals. It's able to be interactive when your opponent's cards are outclassing your own. So aggressive decks with removal are generally my preferred archetype to play in Magic. Yep, this makes sense that they're killing this first. So that way when these trade, I don't get to draw an extra card here, because they probably want to kill Midnight Reaper anyways. Same play as last turn, play Midnight Reaper, so that way they want to trade an elf for my Dauntless Bodyguard, I get to draw a card. There's a good chance they've been struggling on lands enough that they're not going to trade here. Yep. It's possible Tocatli Honor Guard's the right play there, because they could have something like Jade Light Ranger this turn, or even land Chupacabra, and then Tocatli Honor Guard's very good. Probably a Chupacabra. Ritual of Soot. Woof. Alright, I mean, I guess I draw 3 cards, so like... It's like, I can't really complain, right? Who am I kidding? I'm a Magic player, I could definitely complain. They killed one of their lands, yep. It's possible that I should play double Knights there, so that way I have 2 lethal creatures. Oh, Valiant Knight here just forces a chump block, right? I assume they're dead here. It's pretty punishing for their stumble here. Did you end up not liking Artifact, or have I just not had time to stream it? So the market for Artifact isn't open, which means I can't buy singles. So like I actually ended up putting $100 in to buy packs, but I still couldn't build very good decks, believe it or not. So their market opens tomorrow. I'm also not sure if Artifact's going to be good for content. I'll probably try it again a little bit after it releases, but like my first few streams of Artifact so far were not well received as far as content reception goes. So I played it a bit off stream over the weekend, but there's probably a chance that it ends up just being a game I play off stream, especially if I do competitive stuff, because the game has so much going on and it's so busy, it's really hard to follow streams. Yeah, like I enjoy playing it, but I don't think it's gonna make for good content. All right, anywho, looking at Black-White Knights, I think I'm pretty happy with how this ended up. I like the main deck a lot. We kind of cleaned up some of the cuter cards that were a little bit lower in power level and have pretty much all reasonable cards in the main deck. As far as the sideboard goes, Argyl's Bloodfast kind of like punched the clock and went to work against the blue-black control deck. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this card. I think the Immortal Sun might just be too clunky and expensive for this, so I might like trim this and go up a Bloodfast here. Profane Procession was also very good against blue-black, but I'm not sure that this card's good enough to be worth playing a second copy of. I think I might try something like this. We did not get a chance to play against any Jeskai controls, so we didn't get a chance to really stress test the duresses. And again, like, one of the keys, I think, to building a deck like this and playing it successfully is that you just want to have all good cards in your deck. And like, if you look at this main deck that we're playing here, every card that I have in my main deck right now, except for Valiant Knight, is playable somewhere else in this standard format. So like, all of these cards are standard playable guaranteed except for this one, and this one has such powerful synergy with the combination of other playable cards that we have as well, that's a very reasonable card to top end on our curve. So if you've been looking for a Black-White Knight deck, I think this list was very reasonable. I was pretty happy with the result that we had here. How long do you think till Sultai Super ends? Right now, actually. That was the wrap up for the Knights deck.